Okay, it's chapter 6.5. This is proportion and percent. Proportion and percent. Now, there are three types of problems I'm going to be showing you today. But with all of them, you're going to have to remember this. When you see these words, is, please put it is right there, of, and this one is percent, and this one is 100. You need to keep this in mind. Is of percent 100. This proportion. Let's draw a little arrow here. So basically, for every problem, we're going to have to write this out. We're going to have to set up a proportion just like this. You know, bar equals bar 100. So every problem, you need to write this. Write this. These are the steps right here. Write this. The next step would be to plug in two numbers. Plug in two numbers. And the last step is just to solve. So we need to write this proportion, plug in two numbers, and then solve. So I'm going to separate this because these are my directions. And now we'll show three different types of problems that you'll see. So three types. And so we'll do three examples. Okay, so here's the first type of problem. It says 24 is what percent of 120? And of course a question mark. 24 is what percent of 120? Okay, the first thing we do is set up our proportion. Okay, so you have these two bars equals each other and then 100 down below. Okay, now if you look up above, we have the words is of percent 100. That's because that's where those numbers go. If you have an is number, it goes this spot. If you have an of number, it goes down here. If you have a percent number, it goes there. So what we have to do is figure out, we're going to be putting two numbers in here, and we're going to have one unknown. So let's just make it easy. 24 is. That is the is number. That is the is number. What percent? That's your percent number. And then of 120. That's the of number. We have an is percent and an of number. And remember, we put the is number, I'm going to put a little is right there, the of over here, and the percent goes over here. Okay, just like this right there. So, which one, this is my is number, 24. Where does that go? It goes up here in this corner, 24, because that's where the is number goes. What percent? There's no number there for percent. There's no number. Of 120. That is my of number. Where does the of number go? Down here at the bottom. That is 120. That's the of number. This is the is number. I don't know the percent number. That's the unknown. I want to know what percent. I need to know that number there. Okay, this is the first type of problem. We set up our proportion. Let's solve it later. Let's now go to number 2. Here's our second type of problem. What number is 40% of 80? What number is 40% of 80? Remember, we always set our proportion up like this. For every problem, we do this. Bar equals bar 100. Remember, this is the is number. This is where I'm going to put my of number down here. And I'll put my percent number up here. I just have to figure out which numbers to put where. Okay, so now let's move on to the sentence here. What number is 40%? Well, that's a percent number right there. I know that. 40%. That's your percent number. Then I have of 80. That's my of number. That's my of. So I have a percent. I have my of. What about my is number? What number is? What number is? We don't know the number. This is my is number. We just don't know that number. It's not given to us. We know the percent number. We know the of number. We don't know the is number. Okay, let's put those in the places they belong. So let's see. I know the percent number is 40. Percent goes up here. So I will put 40 right there. The of number is 80. The of goes down here. I will put 80. And you know what? I don't know the is. The question is, what number is? I don't know. That's what I need to solve. Okay, so we just set up. We'll solve it in a few minutes. Let's go on to number 3, the third type of problem. Here's a third type of problem. We have 18 is 72% of what number? 18 is 72% of what number? Remember, our first step is to write our proportion. 100 goes in the bottom, so bar equals bar 100. Remember, the upper left is the is, the bottom is the of, and the top there is percent. Okay, now let's see what we got here. We have 18 is, okay, well that must be the is. 72%, well that's my percent number. Of what number? Of what? We don't know the of number. That's what we don't know. This is the of. And that's not given to us. So let's plug these numbers in. So we have the is number is 18. That goes right here. The percent number is 72. That goes right on top. The of number, I don't know what that is. That's the one that goes down the bottom. That's the one that's missing. We don't know. Okay, so now we just set up our third problem. Now when we set up these problems, they probably all seem the same, but there's 3 different types. Notice the first type, we didn't know the percent. Okay, that's our unknown. The second type, we didn't know the is. That's unknown. And the third type, we don't know the of. Those are the only 3 types of word problems that you'll receive like this. All right, now let's go ahead and solve the problem. Let's start with number 1. We already set up a proportion up. I have x equals. Now, what's the bottom number going to be? The bottom number is going to be 120, right? Because that's one diagonal of x. 120. The other 2 numbers go on top, 24 and 100. And now you've set the. Now all we have to do is just reduce. So let me do 10 goes into both 120 and 100. So, I'm just going to knock off 2 zeros. Is that okay with you? So now this is 10, and that's 12. Okay, because I reduced by 10. 12 goes into 24 twice. 12 goes in here once. 12 goes into there twice. And that's all I can do. I just have 1 on the bottom. 2 times 10. 2 times 10 is 20. The answer is 20. Now, what was I looking for? I was looking for percent. What percent? So this answer is 20. 20%. Back to the question. 24 is what percent of 120? 20%. 24 is 20% of 120. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Okay, on number 2, we're trying to find the is number. So whatever's, now I set up my proportion. I need to find the x. X equals, the number diagonal goes on the bottom. So that'd be 100. The other 2 numbers go on top, 80 and 40. Those pair go on top. And now I just need to reduce. So let's see, what can I do here? I can do 10, or I can do 20. How about 20? Now I'm going to try and pick off I could do 20 into 40, or I could do 20 into 80. But you know what? This is a bigger number, so get rid of the bigger number first. 20 will go into 80 4 times. 20 goes into 100 5 times. So now that's a 4 and that's a 5. See, that got rid of the big numbers first. Now I can do 5 into 40. 5 goes into 5 once, and 5 goes into 40 8 times. So now this is a 1 down the bottom, and a 4 and 8. 4 times 8 is 32. Now let's see if it makes sense with the question. The question is, what number is 40% of 80? 32. 32 is 40% of 80. Okay, our last problem, number 3. Set this up. Let's see, I want to find the of number. So diagonal of that, 72, that goes on the bottom. The other pair, that goes on top, 18 and 100. And now I simply reduce. Now I know that 9 goes into 18 and 72. 9 goes into 18 twice, and 9 goes into 72 8. You know what? I could have even took this farther. I guess I could have used 18 into 72. I just didn't know how many times. Well, 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 8 4. So that's a 1, and that's a 4 now. And 4 goes into 100. 4 goes in there once, and 4 goes in 100 25 times. So my answer is 1 times 25 over 1. That's just 25. So back to the question. 18 is 72% of what number? 18 is 72% of 25. 18 is 72% of 25. So now you know how to solve 3 types of word problems using proportions.